Chapter 36. The Asgard Ranch Strikes Back. Marycross talks about how dangerous it is, about Lenora being on the other side. The witch will use her to bring the dark deities to life, in addition to getting Omega and Belphemet, if that happens. All will be lost. Sylvanetia will use Catherine to know the location of the dark deities and possess Belphemet and Omega, Marycross argued. Where are those summons? Asked Adrian. No one knows, said Roger. If we find them first, we could destroy the witch, said Lewis. Only a summoner with her powers can find them. Said Marycross. I'll go to that damn lair. And I'll finish off those fools, said Tony bravely. Angie, I want to go too, said Bastian. And where is that lair? He asked Gavin. I have no idea, Angie said. Does this have anything to do with it? Priscilla asked as she showed a clipping from a book showing a photo of a building with a glass dome. And on the grate of the front door there was an eagle on a plaque. It must be there, said Naomi. But where is that place? Asked Mariah. Isn't it the great campus? Look at those boilers and chimneys. It's the factory, said Angelica. Yes, you're right, it's that place. I know, my father worked there, and I accompanied him when I was a child, Emily stated. Where is the great campus? Alessio asked. Well, we should go and give those fools what they deserve. Chaka said, it's in the general district according to this map, said Black. Well, it's time to make a plan to go there. We won't go in large groups, we'll go there. Me, Gavin, Marycross, Bastian, Tony, Black, Roger, Bastian, Priscilla, Naomi, Adrian, Angelica and Alvord. We will split up, while Chaka, Lewis, Emily and Mariah, you help Alex and the other research group leaders with the puzzles, and if they get complicated, we will let them know so they can reinforce us, said Angie. What day will the mission be? Asked Alvord, and Angie answered, January 27th. While all this was happening, in the lair of the Scarlet Eagles, Lenora reported to the witch Sylvanetia. Lenora prostrated herself in front of her on the red carpet of the room with a bow alongside Dan and Vanessa. My lady, the mission that he entrusted me to, it has been a success. We destroyed the enemy's lair, the rebels. They are weak, said Lenora. Well done, my new apprentice. Your power will be equal to that of Dan and Vanessa. Now, I want you, with your help as a summoner, to give me the path to the dark deities and the power of the celestial deities of Belphemet and Omega, Sylvanetia replied. My lady, I have a book with their locations. I know where they are. I will take you to them, Lenora explained. Excellent, young apprentice. And what about Omega and Belphemet? Sylvanetia asked. My lady, I'm afraid it is a more complex issue. It will take us time and resources, said Lenora. Oh, I see. Take my hand and let's go look for the dark deities, said Sylvanetia, while Lenora rose from her bow and they were gone in the blink of an eye. On Friday, January 27, 2012, the groups that would go to the great campus left the ranch. The Zeppelin took them to the general district. There Joel descended with the Zeppelin and left them in a place near the great campus. Where will we enter? Gavin asked. This place is huge. We should divide into teams, Black suggested. Yes. Look, me, Black, Gavin and Adrian will go for the first entrance. Marycross, Alessio and Priscilla go for the second entrance. Bastian, Tony, Roger go for the third entrance. And for the last entrance, Naomi, Angelica and Alvord. Be careful. There are sentinels in there, and surely more scarlet bastards, said Angie. When you find the place, don't forget to contact the nav, so we can all meet at a point near it, said Marycross, and everyone agreed with your idea. The first group with Angie, Adrian, Daniel and Gavin, entered through Sector A, where it had an entrance with a paved road. Some people walking along those directions with yellow helmets, when walking for a few meters. They found a line railway, which was from the train that had a station inside the great campus. As they passed over it, they came to a concrete and brick building that had a huge sun carved into one of its walls. This is the General Studies Building. Here is where scientists and engineers investigate new inventions that they can create for the stupid arms and technological race with their machines, Angie said. After walking through another alley, they came to another white rhomboid-shaped building, where inside they could hear hammering and some belts carrying boxes. I think this is the manufacturing area, said Black. How do you do that? Is this the building we are looking for? Adrian asked. A round building, with an acrylic dome, has some hexagons on the roof, Gavin explained. So they continued advancing after crossing a small forest and green areas that were in the place, maintaining stealth from the sentinels that were there. They were wandering around. After leaving the forest, they observed in the distance the boilers and chimneys that had the photograph that Priscilla had provided. Look. Let's use those boilers as a guide. I think we're close, said Angie, and they continued on their way through the alleys with large boilers, some storage tanks and chimneys, which made a horn sound from time to time. After crossing this place, they observed that the great campus ended here, but on the other side of the wall and the grills, was the building with the hexagon dome. Look. It's over there, Gavin said. So they climbed the grates and entered the grounds of that place. After reaching the doors of the dome building, there were two guys at the entrance. So Angie with her crossbow and Black or her bazooka, they launched Samnuga, and they made those who were guarding the door fall. Finally they entered the place, reaching a central lobby, where they began to climb through different steps and doors. There were rooms where there was no one. In one of them, Gavin found a bracelet of gold, Pandora, so she put it in her pocket. And they continued until they reached another section. Angie took her nav and notified the others to tell them that they had found the place. The second group, with Priscilla, Marycross and Alessio, were in Sector B. This sector was very close to the boilers and chimneys. The three began to walk down the street, stealthily hiding behind metal garbage cans, forklifts parked, since this place was the parking lot for some of the machines that were used here. They climbed some concrete steps until they reached some laboratories that connected with another section of parked forklifts, which they took to move more quickly to the other exit. From Sector A to reach the entrance of the dome building, they finally arrived at the lair of the Scarlet Eagles. This building is abandoned. That's why the Scarlet Eagles took it as their lair and hiding place, said Alessio, a very original way in fact. Copying our idea, Priscilla mentioned. Once inside, Marycross led the group through the entrance where the first group had put those guarding the door to sleep. The third group with Bastian, Tony and Roger in Sector C managed to infiltrate by means of a small tram that crossed Sector C to Sector Central of the great campus. There they began to walk through the middle of a street, which had the railway line reaching the Pizcet train station that was in the place. After reaching a small square, several buildings were around them. There was the engineering building, the mechanical building, the electronics building, the biotechnology laboratory, a huge workshop with boilers and industrial chimneys, a camouflage paint building for weapons, and finally a small building where the town's architecture was made. From there, the boys decided to continue along the path until they went down to a small lake that was there, and in the distance they found the building with the round dome with hexagons on the roof. They left there and entered the building after seeing the Guardians fallen due to sleeping pills. Finally, the group of Naomi, Angelica and Alvord entered walking along the path similar to a hill. There they took the left path, opposite to the one that group number 3 had used. They arrived at a small industrial area where there were even more buildings, warehouses, containers where the centers of metallurgy, theoretical physics, biology, advanced alchemy, medicine of drugs with potions were. The substation of the electric plant with enormous towers that gave electricity to the entire town through the energy created by the hydroelectric plant in the Western Desert District. The place of zootechnical animal research, water and natural resources treatment plants, geothermal and geology, meteorology, astronomy and aeronautics, where they saw some zeppelins even more modern than the one that was in the ranch and other machines. "Look at that. Weapons of war," said Alvord. And after crossing this entire field, they saw at the end of the street the building with the round dome with hexagons, and they immediately entered it. Finally the four groups met in a hall in the lair of the Scarlet Eagles, where they noticed a red carpet that led to a room, so they went up those stairs, finding another room. There they found a huge door that had an eagle impregnated in the metal of this door. So Tony, Gavin and Marycross mentioned to Angie that now they felt strong enough to have a duel with Katie and bring her back. The rest of the group agreed. The rest would disperse to begin to destroy the place as revenge for what happened at Asgard Ranch.